Welcome back to The Explainer, everyone. If you're a focused learner looking for some serious structure and efficiency today, well, you are definitely in the right place. Okay, let's dive into this. We are tackling software design patterns and frameworks. I know, it sounds super technical right off the bat, but honestly, at its core, it's really just about finding elegant, repeatable solutions to some seriously complex puzzles.
To really wrap our heads around why this is absolutely crucial, let's just take a second to picture what software development looks like before any of these rules are applied. When you look at those abstract shapes and colors, that's exactly what it is: raw, completely unstructured potential. Without a solid game plan, coding is, well, it's a mess. It's disconnected, it sprawls everywhere, and there's no map to follow. We're talking about the dreaded spaghetti code. It's literally the Wild West of the creative process, right? You add one tiny new feature, and bam, you risk breaking the whole shebang. For a developer, staring down that kind of fluid, overwhelming complexity, it's completely paralyzing. So the big question we have to figure out is, how on earth do we wrangle all that chaotic abstraction into something that's reliable, scalable, and actually functional?
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that it introduces the very tools we use to tame that exact chaos. First up on the list, software design patterns. Now listen, a design pattern is not just some random chunk of code you copy-paste. It's a conceptual template. It actually represents a massive, massive history of trial and error in our field. Think of it like a giant puzzle, where the collected wisdom of thousands of developers, people who stared down that exact same tangled web of logic, figured out the absolute best way to put the pieces together. It's all about having this realization that, hey, the crazy complex problem you're trying to solve right now, someone else has almost certainly solved it before, and the blueprint is literally sitting right here waiting for you.
And that brings us right into the second foundational piece of the puzzle: frameworks. Getting the distinction between these two terms straight is absolutely vital. While patterns give us those beautiful conceptual blueprints, frameworks, they provide the actual digital scaffolding. If a design pattern is your brilliant architectural strategy, the framework is the heavy machinery. It's the literal steel beams you're dragging onto the construction site. It sets the strict boundaries, the rules of engagement, you know? It makes sure that all those free-flowing, abstract concepts actually have a super-structured, stable environment where they can live, operate, and, most importantly, scale up.
Let's move to and see how this builds on our understanding of their synergy. By placing these two side by side, software design patterns over here, frameworks over there, we lock in this fundamental structural relationship. They are two completely distinct forces, but they have to work in absolute harmony. You've got the theoretical best practices working perfectly in tandem with those rigid structural foundations. Together, and really only together, they take that chaotic, unstructured spaghetti code we talked about earlier and transform it into a highly functional, incredibly robust digital architecture.
So up until now, we've basically laid out our tools and figured out how they play nice with each other. But what's the actual core objective of our explainer today? Let's zoom in on the main focus here. Because we're making a big shift right now. We are moving from just memorizing what these concepts are to really internalizing why they are absolutely essential.
So the crucial point is understanding why design patterns matter in software development. That right there, that is our absolute core mission. We have to push past the surface-level vocabulary and fundamentally grasp the why. Like, why do developers rely so heavily on these things? Well, because without established patterns, software development eventually and inevitably collapses under its own weight as a project grows. It's just a fundamental truth of engineering. Understanding this stuff isn't just some boring academic exercise. No way! It is literally the beacon that guides every single decision a software architect makes when they sit down, grab their coffee, and stare at a terrifyingly blank screen at the start of a brand new project.
And this brilliantly sets up the ultimate challenge we're unpacking today. We've got the tools, we know our objective, but the whole thing leads us straight to this single, unavoidable question: why do design patterns matter in software development? Seriously, what exactly happens when we just ignore them? Do we inevitably fall right back into that unstructured spaghetti code chaos we started with? I want you to carry that curiosity with you as we keep going, because unlocking the answer to that specific question, that is the ultimate key to mastering the true art of software architecture.